On the 20th of November 1955, Elvis signed his contract with RCA Records for what was then a record sum of $35,000, equivalent today to just over $400,000. This was quite a gamble. RCA immediately released all 5 of Elvis's Son's singles, and they were eager to get him into the recording studio. But what would he record? Tommy Durden was a guitarist and songwriter, but he hadn't had that much success. One morning in October 1955, he bought the Miami Herald newspaper and noticed an article about a body found in a room with a note that stated, "I walk a lonely street." He was immediately struck by the line and wanted to write a song around it. But he knew that he would need help, so he approached a friend, May Boren Axton, a school teacher who wrote songs and had also done promotional work for the Grand Ole Opry. She had already recognised Elvis's potential when she interviewed him in summer 1955 at Jacksonville, Florida.
Just make it May.
Okay, May.
That makes it better. Well, that's fine. So, Elvis, you are sort of a bebop artist more than anything else, aren't you? Is that what you'd call you?
Well, I never have given myself a name, but a lot of the disc jockeys call me.
Durden later told the story in an interview. She sat at the piano and I walked around, and in less than half an hour we had the song. May stated that she offered, "Let's put a Heartbreak Hotel on that lonely street." They then asked a friend to record a demo, singing in the style of Elvis Presley. The singer's name was Glenn Reeves. Tommy stated, "We had Elvis in mind, and she knew him." The original handwritten lyrics include the note 4EP. May was to attend the annual Country and Western Music Disc Jockey Convention in Nashville on November 10th, and she took the demo with her, knowing that Elvis was due to be there. She played the demo and Elvis liked it, asking her to play it several times. He agreed that he would record it. He was also presented with a scroll naming him the most promising country and western artist of the year, with Jim Reeves in second place. On the 9th of December 1955, Elvis and his band went to the B&I Club near Swifton, Arkansas, where they played a show. According to the owner of the club, Elvis's set included Rock Around the Clock and Only You. He then stated, Elvis said, "I've got this brand new song and it's going to be my first hit," and then performed Heartbreak Hotel. If this is true, then it would be the first time Elvis would perform it in public. On the 10th January 1956, Elvis and his band went to Nashville for his first RCA recording session. Not having a studio in Nashville yet, RCA rented the building at 1525 McGavock Street from the Methodist Church Television, Radio and Film Commission. The nominal producer would be Steve Scholes, but it soon became apparent that Elvis would actually produce himself, something unheard of at the time. With Elvis were Scotty Moore and Chet Atkins on guitar, Bill Black on bass, DJ Fontana on drums, and Floyd Kramer on piano. They first recorded a version of I Got a Woman, a song that the band had performed live many times. Next, Elvis produced the Heartbreak Hotel demo and the band listened, working out their parts. Scotty came up with a solo and they were ready to record. The first 3 takes are missing from the tape, probably taped over. Take 4 stops after just a minute, but takes 5 and 6 are complete. Elvis sings the written lyrics, including the line, "Lonely, they pray to die." But on take 7, the master take, he would sing, "They could die." Was this intentional? I don't know, but I think it actually works better. It is said that when RCA bosses first heard the proposed single, they were shocked. The recording did not sound anything like a Sun record. In fact, they said it didn't sound like anything. They were not sure. One executive even wrote a memo stating, "We can't release that." But Elvis had faith in his vision, and the single was released on the 27th of January with the song I Was the One on the B-side. On the 11th of February, Elvis, Scotty, Bill and DJ Fontana would appear on the Dorsey Brothers stage show, where Elvis introduced his new single. But the performance of Heartbreak Hotel featured the Dorsey Brothers stage show band, so Elvis was accompanied by a jazz orchestra, complete with trumpet solo in place of Scotty's perfect riffs.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now a little song that I have on record, RCA Victor, entitled Heartbreak Hotel. Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Yeah.
On the 17th of March, in another appearance, they played the song as intended, and it's a great performance. Elvis even reverted to the line, "Pray to die." 14th of April, Elvis went into RCA studio in New York to record again, and was presented by RCA with the millionth Heartbreak Hotel single to be pressed. On the 21st of April, Heartbreak Hotel went to number 1 in the US singles chart, where it would stay for 7 weeks. It went on to become the best-selling single of 1956, and in 1999 the Recording Industry Association of America certified it double platinum. In the UK it peaked at number 2 in the singles chart and sold over 200,000 copies. In 1995 the recording was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, and in 2004 Rolling Stone magazine included it in the 500 greatest songs of all time. Just how important this song was can be shown by these quotes. John Lennon first heard Heartbreak Hotel played on Radio Luxembourg. He later said, "When I first heard it, I could hardly make out what was being said. It was just an experience of hearing it and having my hair stand on end. Suddenly there's this hillbilly hiccuping on tape, echo and all this bluesy stuff going on. We didn't know what Elvis was singing about. To us it just sounded as a noise that was great." George Harrison said that when he first heard it, he had a rock and roll epiphany. Keith Richards stated that Heartbreak Hotel had a huge effect on him. It was a totally different way of delivering a song, a totally different sound, stripped down. It was bare right to the roots. I've got to take my hat off to Elvis. It was the first time I'd heard something so stark. Robert Plant stated that the song changed his life. It was so animal, so sexual, the first musical arousal I ever had. You could see a twitch in everybody my age. All we knew about this guy was that he was cool, handsome and looked wild. Elton John said, "I remember when my mother came back from work and brought home the record Heartbreak Hotel. I'd never heard anything like it before. I'd never been around music like that, music that was so powerful. That moment, that song would forever shape the way I listen to music." Paul McCartney said, "Elvis is a truly great vocalist, and you can hear why on Heartbreak Hotel. His phrasing, his use of echo, it's so beautiful. It's the way he sings it too, as if he's singing from the depths of hell. It's a perfect example of a singer being in command of a song." There was a second recording of Heartbreak Hotel, released in 1956, by the American comedian Stan Freberg. He would record parodies of current hits, and he put out a single of Heartbreak Hotel. It would actually get to number 24 in the charts. Now, when research was done into the origins of this song, it seems that the newspapers got it wrong. No surprise there. The truth about the original story was finally revealed. It began in November 1953, when a 25-year-old man named Alvin Krolik walked into a Chicago police station to confess to a string of armed robberies. An ex-Marine, he stated that he felt overwhelmed with guilt, but had turned to crime after his girlfriend dumped him. Krolik had written an unpublished memoir, which began, "This is the story of a person who walked a lonely street." Krolik was given a token jail sentence and then disappeared. However, in early 1955, he purchased a pistol in Tucson and then proceeded to Texas. One evening he walked into a liquor store in El Paso and tried to rob the owner. But the man behind the counter was Delta Pinney, an ex-policeman who was known locally for having already shot dead several men who attempted to rob him. Pinney pulled 2 pistols and shot Krolick dead. When the story broke, a journalist recalled the earlier headline and resurrected the Lonely Street quote. Differing versions of the story soon appeared in many newspapers, and one of the versions was read by Tommy Durden. May Axton's son was Hoyt Axton. On meeting Elvis as a young boy, he was inspired to take up music and would have a successful career. In 1970 he wrote a song called Joy to the World, and in 1971 the band Three Dog Night took it to number 1, 15 years after his mother's song had reached number 1. I believe that Heartbreak Hotel deserved to rank alongside That's Alright Mama, Blue Moon of Kentucky as one of the most important singles ever released. Its influence is wide-ranging. Even today, it sounds odd, it sounds eerie, it draws you in. Everything about it is perfect, from Elvis's delivery, the lyrics, the musicians, the music being played. It all just works. And it is a song that many people can identify with. Indeed, haven't we all at some point in our lives walked down that lonely street and stayed at Heartbreak Hotel, even if only for the night? Till next time, bye for now.